I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice News headlines. Some news from across the pond, where King Charles has stripped his younger brother, Prince Andrew, of all of his titles and kicked him out of his royal home. The 65-year-old former prince is being punished over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Earlier this month, he was even forced to stop using his title of the Duke of York. Now the disgraced royal is simply known as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. In a statement, Buckingham Palace writes, "These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse." Andrew will move from his current royal estate to a private residence in eastern England. However, he'll reportedly continue to be financially supported by his older brother, King Charles. Now for some scary news that has been thwarted. Thankfully, the FBI has thwarted a potential terrorist attack. On X, FBI Director Kash Patel posted the following. This morning, the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come. Thanks to the men and women of FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland. We do have to appreciate and support those law enforcement officials. And in some global news, the president had his highly anticipated meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday. The trade truce entails a reduction of Chinese export tariffs from 57% to 47% as a result of Xi's promise to reduce fentanyl coming into the United States. Trump also said that China will resume buying soybeans from America, which had been a major issue for American farmers. China also agreed to back off limits of rare earth minerals in exchange for the U.S. also backing off some of its own export restrictions. The minerals are critical to military equipment and other technology. Now, this meeting capped off a big week in Asia, meeting with leaders of Malaysia, Japan, and South Korea. Meanwhile, it appears that the Justice Department is turning up the heat on the use of autopen by former President Joe Biden. Attorney General Pam Bondi stated that the investigation is centering on Delaware and Washington, D.C. Those are your headlines. Now we return to the Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Great music. I'm loving it.
Yeah, very good. I have a feeling Mikey called for that. So, Andrew Colvet, executive producer of this fine show. Blake Neff, our other producer of this show. Mikey McCoy, chief of staff, Turning Point USA. Honored to be with you. Blake, you've got a write-in question you want to
Yes. So this is a write-in question, and it's on something we've gotten a lot of questions about, you can imagine. But I thought this one was well formulated, and so Mikey and I wanted to say something to it. So this is from Dennis. He said, just wondering if you would be willing to comment on the recent interview Tucker Carlson had with Nick Fuentes. I was quite frankly surprised, as Nick had said some very hurtful comments about both Charlie and Erica Kirk. I wonder if this interview may have platformed Nick. Personally, I would have a very difficult time interviewing someone who made those statements about a dear friend. I understand being willing to have open debate, but there are also boundaries we as believers need to draw as well. Curious for your thoughts. Oh, it was from Dennis's email, but it is from Katie. Katie, who is probably his wife, I imagine, wrote that. So thank you, Katie. I wanted Mikey, I thought you might want to respond first.
I know that Charlie loved Tucker, and specifically Tucker being at America Fest this year. That was a Charlie pick. And I know Charlie was always very anti what he would call moral blackmail, where people would just kind of say, you cannot have this speaker there. And Charlie would respond with, that's all the more reason for me want to have this speaker here. He would double, triple down. And so Charlie, that's kind of the Charlie response here.
The context there, because some people have said, like, they want to disinvite Tucker. They want to push Tucker out of the movement because he interviewed Fuentes and all of that. So that's the context for what there. And Charlie was, as you said, he used that phrase. He disliked moral blackmail. He was this very combative Scottish guy. He didn't, if you were going to say, you can't have this person there, that made him more likely to want them there. And he faced that pressure repeatedly over the past summer and, pretty much up until, his murder. And so I think that would strongly influence that. But I actually do. I want to say something brief here. I am disappointed that Tucker did do that interview, at least in the manner that it did. It's perfectly fine to say I am an open platform who will interview and speak with anyone.
Yeah.
But what we did get what was a very friendly interview. That was a chance for someone, for Nick specifically, to look very positive, very reasonable. And there was not much effort to bring up a lot of the reasons people do dislike him. Like, it's not simply that Nick has like criticized Israel and so people like Ben Shapiro have attacked him over this. It's more extreme than that. He's used phrase where he says like world Jewry is this like thing that we need to fight against. He's referred to Israel as the Antichrist. He has said pretty extreme things. I think he may have even said, implied that we should kick Talmudists out of America. Don't quote me on that one. I am not an expert on all Fuentes lore, but these are things he's said. And I think if you are going to interview him, you should at least bring them up. And instead it was just this, it was very generous in tone. And one thing I was thinking about is when Tucker has those guests out onto his show, it's always a very friendly thing where they come out and like he has dinner with them. They're there for a little while.
Yeah.
And the natural dynamic there, Tucker's a super friendly guy. Anyone who's met him knows Tucker's very generous. He's very friendly. He's very open. He's very welcoming. And when you're doing that setup for every single person you speak with, he's not going to turn around and then like be super tough on a person that he's been having, that he had a friendly dinner with just a matter of hours before. And I think that constructed what that interview was, because if you watch it, he does bring up some of those things. He does point out to Nick where he says, I don't think your tone is always as helpful as it could be. I don't think that it's good to fixate on, basically to push like anti-Semitic stuff. But a lot of people didn't really catch that. It came in later and it wasn't super strongly formulated. And frankly, I'm also going to say this. I'm disappointed he didn't bring up, you are getting in, you would attack Charlie all of the time. You would say these incredibly harsh things about Charlie. I think he called Charlie a false Christian before. And he said hurtful things about Erica. And Tucker was friends with Charlie. We know that. And I kind of wish he had stuck up a little more for the man who, among other things, stuck up for him repeatedly. And again, we oppose moral blackmail. We're not going to just like cancel Tucker off the face of the earth for this sort of thing. But I'll be truthful. I do wish more had come out of that interview than what we got.
Yeah. I think that's well said, Blake. It's like you can be disappointed with the way the interview was conducted, but you could also realize that, we're going to honor Charlie's wishes. And, we all have relationships with Tucker as well. He's always been nothing but incredibly kind to me and to Blake. Blake has worked with Tucker for a long time. So I think that basically sums that one up. Next up, we have Brandon. Brandon, you are on the Charlie Kirk Show. Welcome.
Hey, guys. So I'm writing a research paper on the negative effects of immigration in the United Kingdom. And
no shortage of those. No shortage of those.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy paper to write. But I was wondering what podcast it was that I think it was you, Blake, talking about your experience in the UK when Charlie was debating at Oxford. You were talking about like the businesses and how you couldn't understand the language for the most of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we'll definitely. I'll try to shoot us an email at freedom@Charlie Kirk, and I'll try to like get a more detailed look at that. But I can repeat.
Yeah, repeat it. Let's get some red meat for you. We're gonna get some red meat.
Mikey was with us too. Was with us too. We landed in the UK. We were staying in Knightsbridge, was the neighborhood.
Yeah. Talk about the TV channel.
Yeah. So we're in Knightsbridge. This is a neighborhood. An expensive neighborhood, central
Very
London.
expensive.
You are walking distance from Buckingham Palace. You're walking distance from
everything.
Westminster, and a ton of the businesses, expensive businesses, they have Arabic language lettering on the windows, so it's in Arabic. I went into our hotel, and our hotel was this weird, hideous thing. It looked like a prison that you'd like keep Lex Luthor in. But anyway, I was flipping through the TV channels of our hotel, and maybe out of 60 channels or something, I would say 20 to 30 of them were in Middle
Oman
Eastern
TV.
languages. There was several Saudi channels. We had the Saudi Children's Channel. They were playing a
Yep.
Spyro,
Yemen
Spyro
TV.
the Dragon TV show, but in Arabic.
Yep.
There was a Lebanese,
Yep.
Omani,
Yemen.
Pakistani.
Yemeni.
All of these channels, and again, this is in presumably a hotel. A lot of, wealthy, Muslim Arab visitors would stay in, and you saw the signs everywhere. You're just walking through London, and
I will say the food was really good, but every storefront was just Arabic writing.
you could really feel like you were in a country that is being kind of taken over, being culturally converted. I remember seeing signs, no antisocial driving. I thought was an interesting one. I looked that up. They drive very antisocially in London now. Or even a minor one that really got me thinking. There was a statue to some guy who had a role in British India 150 years ago, and I could tell that someone had like mildly defaced this, like they were scratching out like the India on the statue. And you just think like Britain has brought in people who are hostile to Britain's history, Britain's people, British religion.
Yes.
And we're seeing this, churches are being converted into mosques. There are far more Muslim believers now in London than there are Christian believers.
It's like you take London and all of its beauty, you keep it the same, but you add more trash on the streets and then Arabic writing everywhere.
Yeah, and
it seems similar.
It's truly
but it's
heartbreaking.
just not.
And you'll see this, Brandon, if you look up like the statements. We had members of the British Parliament who were spiking the football because an Israeli soccer team was going to play in Birmingham. Ton of Muslims in Birmingham, and they just campaigned. They said the fans of this Israeli soccer team should not be allowed to attend this game. And they successfully got that to happen. They banned the fans from this game, and then these Muslim MPs celebrated this. They just publicly celebrated it.
I think it might be in Manchester, where in the most recent election that they had in the UK, someone ran as an independent, so not part of the Conservative or Labour Party, just as an independent, and they said they're running as the Palestinian Party. That was their only thing they're running on. He won.
And there's polls where they ask people, this was a recent poll just this month, you can look this up, Brandon, where they were asking by different background what you think the top issues are. And so for white British people, the number one issue was migrants recently. And then, people of Hindu or black background, they said the cost of living. And then people of a kind of Muslim background, it was Gaza. Was I think either the number one or number two issue.
Yes.
And that's after the ceasefire.
That was after.
It is. You can look everywhere you'll look, Brandon. There's just one sign after another of this is not an assimilation. This is kind of an ongoing cultural conquest of the UK.
And Blake.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, Charlie's favorite verse on this was Deuteronomy 28:43. Foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers.
Yes, which is why you see it being okay that Muslims can take over London and all of the UK, but old ladies are being arrested for Facebook posts about free speech. That you are losing your rights in the UK. Muslims are gaining theirs.
I want to read some of these email replies about Halloween. Matthew says, Andrew and Blake are correct. Don't play with things you shouldn't, and Halloween is just fine.
No, there's got to be different emails. Yeah, you're picking. This is crazy.
No, don't be like my ex and play with tarot cards and crystals. Thanks. That's Matt. I grew up Catholic when October 31st was All Hallows Eve, a holy night of remembrance. Later, as a born-again believer, I was told it was evil. But then I learned the Wesleyan quadrilateral scripture, tradition, reason, experience. Now I simply see Halloween as a night to love my neighbors well.
How about this one? Satanists that have become Christians say that Halloween is a special day for them and that evil spirits are the most active on that day. How about that?
Yep. Well, Mark agrees. He says, without any doubt, against this pagan so-called holiday, Jesus Christ took care of this issue long ago when Satan and his sidekicks lost their wings, then grew tails and horns. Ban this satanic pagan ritual. That's from Mark.
I like Mark.
I like to think of the St. Michael prayer that Catholics pray, where we say, and by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits. And that is a Halloween prayer, if I ever heard one. It is saying demons exist, but they can be beaten and thrown into hell.
And protect us against the wickedness and snares of the devil.
By the power of God.
This is a very contentious issue in our emails. I will tell you. This is like legitimately 50-50 split.
We literally got in the same minute. In the same minute, we got emails with the headline Halloween, and then the next one, no Halloween. Right in a row.
This is very split. I'm going to tell you guys really quickly. I think we should keep reading some of these next segment because it's really good. But really quick, I'm going to tell you about done with debt. When you're buried in credit card and loan debt, it's human nature to put it off and say, I'll deal with it later. If that's you, here's a hidden fact. The debt strategy experts at Done With Debt shared with me. They discovered a little-known strategy that works in your favor, to dramatically reduce or even erase your debt altogether. They aggressively engage everyone you owe money to this fall. So right now, right during Halloween, where the demons are out. And here's why. They know which lenders and credit card companies are doing year-end accounting and need to cut deals. They even know which ones have year-end audits and need to get your debt off their books. That means you need to get started with Done With Debt now. So if you have ignored my warnings, heed them right now. Get started right now. Done With Debt accomplishes without bankruptcy or new loans. So get started now while you still have time. Go to donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com and talk with one of their specialists for free. Donewithdebt.com. We'll be right back.